Speaker, I really didn't want to talk on this matter much after you have made the ruling, which I think is really well informed, grounded in law, and really there's very little to add. But Mr. Speaker, there's just one issue that I wanted to address you on, which probably in future may become an issue, Mr. Speaker. And I'm raising this well aware that the Speaker has the capacity to address, this matter. Mr. Speaker, our Constitution separates the powers of the three arms of government: the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. And Mr. Speaker, I do know that Parliament is given the mandate to initiate removal from office of state officers, including commissioners. But Mr. Speaker, I am not so sure whether the drafters of the Constitution contemplated a situation where an individual would want to remove the entire commission at a go by citing individual members like Mr. Njenga attempted to do. Mr. Speaker, that raises a fundamental question of how would this affect the independence of the judiciary if we were, as a House, going to address ourselves to removal from office of the entire commission in the name of removing individual commissioners. Mr. Speaker, as I heard about this petition, I have been wondering how this Parliament would have transacted, if at all this petition was found to be admissible. It was worrying me how the boundary between Parliament exercising its powers under Article 251 of the Constitution of removal of commissioners vis-a-vis protecting the independence of the judiciary, especially where the petitioner questions the performance of those commissioners in their duty of executing or trying to protect the independence of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, probably it is not something that you'd address yourself to now, but I just wanted to raise it so that in future it does not appear like Parliament is trying to interfere with the performance of the Judicial Service Commission as an entity in the name or in pursuit of individual commissioners being investigated, or a process that would lead to the removal from office. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the names which were cited, all the commissioners except those vacant positions, meaning the petitioner had a problem with the commission. So it is like the petitioner wanted us to disband the Judicial Service Commission. Mr. Speaker, that is what I'm raising. I think the leader of the majority was not alert. I am just trying to bring it to the chair that probably in future it may pose some serious questions of separation of power between Parliament and the judiciary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Hon Mbadi, you have also heard some Kenyans saying that they want to go to court to have Parliament dissolved. I wonder whether it is any different. So this independence, it's something that really, I believe all arms of government must deal with a lot of circumspection, so that no one particular arm seems to be derailing the others from all.
Members of Parliament have the opportunity to impeach cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, the president, the deputy. But Mr. Speaker, the law has set a certain benchmark and a threshold. And we don't want the types of arm drain. And I don't think, Mr. Speaker, where that gentleman is a lawyer, the LSK, those people who are lawyers in this house, you need to confirm. Because the last time I saw that gentleman in Parliament, he was following the bill on ICT. So he was more of a computer. He was a chair of an association of ICT. So when he was being called a lawyer, I don't know. But Mr. Speaker, I think even the basic, and I remember Hon Mbadi raising the other day, or Hon Wamalwa, when a petition comes, before the petition comes to even the floor for you to communicate, that petition must go thorough scrutiny. There are too many, Mr. Speaker, busybodies. This House must deal with the matter and use resources and